Let's play a quick word association game. I'm going to say a few words and I want you to consider your initial thought or associated action step with each of these. Your accounting, profit and loss statement, marketing plan, launch plan, visibility plan, vacation plan. What plan, steps, or mindset attitude comes to mind when you hear words like this? Our businesses are built on habits, routines, mindsets, and default ways of thinking. So it's important to ask, is your business being built on healthy versions of these? Last fall, I had a big wake up call regarding my visibility plan and my default thinking that has changed the way I do things in my business. Hey there, I'm your host, Marta Gertson, and welcome to Doing Business Gently. This is a podcast for women who are ready to think and do business from a place of purpose and intention. If this sounds like you and you've wondered what it means to have a gentle and an aligned business, you are in the right place. This is a safe place where we're going to talk about life-business integration. And we approach this idea by creating a life-first business, one that is aligned to fit you, your values, priorities, personality, and the current season of life you are in. We also talk about how to find business clarity so that you're not constantly second-guessing every decision you make in your business, how your faith and business can work together, and how you can do this from a place and a habit of rest. So join me today as we look at healthy habits and routines that build a gentle business. This episode is brought to you by the Weekly Reset Routine Mini Workshop. It is a mini workshop created for Christian women entrepreneurs who are ready to de-stress their weekly business schedule in 30 minutes or less. In this workshop, you will learn how a simple weekly routine can help keep you on track, keep you making intentional and purposeful decisions, how to plan for and not forget important life and business stuff, quick ways to slow down, take a deep breath, and prepare your heart and mind for the week ahead. This simple routine can become a healthy habit that will grow with you and your business no matter what stage of business or season of life you're in. It's a great way to start learning to do business gently. This mini workshop includes a video and workbook walkthrough that walks you through each step of the routine, along with tools and suggestions on how to tailor it and customize it for you and your business. Start your new healthy habit and routine for your gentle business with a weekly business reset routine. You can learn more at selahstudios.co/weekly reset. I have a business coach who says, your business is a habit. And the first time I heard her say that years ago, it really gave me pause for thought. Then I realized that how I spend my day, how I plan my business, or sometimes don't plan my business back in those days, how I did things either held me back or helped me move forward. And it's something that we can't ignore, but often we get so stuck in default ways of thinking, entrenched ways of thinking, that until we take the time to examine it and become aware of it, we don't even realize we're doing it. But as much as we would like to ignore it, we don't want to go through the process of examining what we're doing in our habits and routines. This is true. Our business is built on our habits, on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly schedule. How you decide to market your business, how and when you market your business. When do you review your business and how it's doing? How do you plan your business? How do you plan your workday, week, month, year? When you look at your habits and routines, are they healthy habits and routines? Habits and routines also include things like default ways of thinking or habitual ways of thinking, mindsets that can build us up or hold us back, patterns of doing business that we don't even think about anymore. Those entrenched habits that we just do that without even thinking. So it is worth taking a look at how we operate day in and day out in our business and decide if the things that we are doing are just done out of rote habit, or are we doing them with intention and purpose and purposely adding in healthy ways of doing business? Last fall, I was working with a marketing consultant to take my business and move it into new directions in terms of my marketing and getting in front of new markets and new people. And I had a bit of a shock moment. I realized that my default answer to her when she asked me, what is your visibility plan? How do you want to get in front of new people? It immediately came to mind, and I even said it to her several times. Oh, I'll post more on Instagram. And after about the third time I said that, I kind of had to sit back in my seat and go, why? Why is that my visibility plan? Why is my first answer, go post more on Instagram? And we talked about it quite a bit. And we realized that so much of the training that I had received, so much of the training that's out there is encouraging us to go use the free social media platforms, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when it becomes my default answer to everything in terms of marketing and visibility, now we have an issue. And so it took me down a path of examining my relationship with social media in general, but also why do I always think go post more on Instagram? When I take a look at my numbers from my quarterly and yearly business reviews, Instagram isn't the top performer for me in generating leads and generating community and content. So even though my default thinking was go post more on Instagram, my numbers, the habits that I built to review my business on a regular basis told me that was not the best use of my time. This also triggered another line of thinking. What is my relationship in my business and me personally with social media in general? Do I spend too much time on it? Do I send way too many memes and reels to my sister and friends, which I do, and they often send them back. So it's a thing. And I actually ended up changing how I viewed social media for me personally and what level do I want to use and rely on social media in my business. It got to the point where I realized I needed to take the apps off my phone and I add them only when I'm ready to post something that has to be posted from my phone, and I either delete it immediately or by the end of the week, so that's definitely off of my phone over the weekend. Making those habitual changes of how I deal with and interact and use social media has actually made a huge difference in my mental health and also in my focus in my business. And it's opened up new ways of thinking of how to market and get visible in my business. It was not an easy aha moment, and it was kind of a shocking one. I didn't realize I had gotten there, but it was an important recognition for me to say that is a default way of thinking. That is probably not true. And when I look at my numbers, spending more time marketing on Instagram right now is not where things are happening in my business. So it's not the best habit or routine to include into my daily, weekly schedule. So it's important that we take a step back and look at some of the things that we do automatically in our business, or what are some of the habits and routines we do in our day. One simple tool that can show you a lot is to take a notebook or take a chart and document how you spend your day for at least a week. I resisted doing this for a long time, and finally, a couple years ago, I did. And I was like, oh, yeah, there's some habits and routines here that are not healthy. But it also showed me that there were some things that I thought I was wasting my time or wasting too much time on. And I actually had some pretty good routines built in. So that was a good and bad experience, but it was an awareness. And it was an important awareness point for me to understand, am I using my time wisely? Am I stewarding my time? Am I building healthy habits and routines that really lift me up, that help me serve my clients, that help me grow my business simply and sustainably? Are these habits that allow me to do business gently? And a lot of them weren't. Thankfully, a lot of them were. So I was able to have data in front of me to make some intentional, purposeful decisions that allowed me to start making positive changes. So I would encourage you to do that. I know a lot of us don't like tracking on that minute detail, but it is an eye-opening experience. And when you take a look at that, I don't want you to be discouraged because we all have habits and routines that are not healthy. They are not building us up. They are not allowing us to show up as ourselves. It's a wake-up call. It really needs to be a tool of awareness and of identifying these habits and routines that may need to change so that you can simplify your business and reduce stress and anxiety in your business. So please don't be discouraged if you don't like what you see. A few healthy habits and routines that I think you need to consider are the weekly business reset routine. When I created this process for myself probably 2 or 3 years ago, I needed something that would allow me to end the week and give me a process of reviewing the week behind, what was still pending, what was still going on? How did the week go? Take a deep breath, have some time in prayer, have some moments of gratitude about my business, and then also take what happened in the previous week and look at the coming week. What was going to happen? What needs to follow me into the new week? Doing that simple process makes such a huge difference in how I feel about the week that's to come. I am more prepared. I know what's going on. So if something does go off the rails, which it often does, I am aware of what's available in the week or what needs to change in order for me to handle the situation that has come up. A weekly reset routine for me is something that I can do in about 15-20 minutes a week, and it dramatically makes a difference in feeling prepared and a lot less stressed for the week that's ahead in my business. A few other reviews that I think we also need to include in our business are monthly or at the very least quarterly business reviews. And these are reviewing your goals, your stats, numbers, data, finances to really understand what's going on in your business. Because once you start doing this, now you have some data behind you. You can see trends. You can identify things that are going well, that are not, things that need to be changed. And without that data, you are using the time-honored procedure of throwing the dart at the dartboard to see what sticks. But when you are reviewing your business on a regular basis, you have data and you have information that you can look back on and make better decisions, more intentional, purposeful decisions. And when you can do that, that is a way of doing business gently instead of doing it frantically and trying to second guess or wonder what's going to work in the future. Another habit and routine that I think we need to consider are yearly or seasonal reflections, where a monthly or quarterly business review is kind of the hard numbers, the data, the stats. When you do a seasonal or yearly reflection, you're looking at how you are doing in your business and how your business is doing from a physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual point of view. And this is important because we are not just numbers and data. We are feelings, we are emotions. We do have habits and routines that are built into our personal lives that impact our business. So, taking the time to do these reflections on a regular basis is also an eye opening experience. I forgot I had done this in years past. And so, the last couple years, I hadn't done my year end reflection at this level. And I found it in an old planning notebook and I pulled it out and did it again for this year. And it was amazing. I loved it. And I have actually created a workbook that I'll be releasing later this year to help you do your own seasonal review. It was eye opening. It was encouraging. It was also a little discouraging at some points, but it gave me a real good snapshot of how my business was doing, how I was doing, and how the two were working together. And it also encouraged me to look at other ways that I can do business gently so that this year I am in a better place physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Another thing that we need to do, and this is something you'll hear me talk about a lot, learning to rest. And learning to rest in a way where it becomes built in, baked into your schedule, not a wish to, not a want to, but it is the next thing on your to-do list is that you are going to take a break. All of these are important routines and habits that we need to consider putting into our schedules and into our business plan so that we are learning ways to do business gently. If you want a gentle and aligned business, healthy habits and routines can help you get there. These are tools. These give you information and resources and trends in your business to help you grow sustainably and do business from that gentle perspective. What about you? Are there any habits and routines that you have in your business that help you do business gently, or any here that I haven't listed? I'd love to hear from you. What kind of habits and routines do you have into your business that you find extremely helpful? You can find me over on Instagram. The link to my profile is in the show notes below. I'd love to hear from you. What habits do you already have in your business that help you? Or from the list that we've talked about today, what are some of the habits that you need to add to your business to help you do business gently? As we close off today, I don't want you to be discouraged that if you do the time block, you examine your weekly schedule and you don't like what you see, don't be discouraged. This isn't a tool of awareness. This is a tool of eye opening. Say, oh, okay, there's some things that I need to change. And you pick one thing to start changing in the next week. Just one. You don't have to do everything because if you try to do everything, you're not going to do it. If you start simply, you're more likely to do it and you're more likely to keep on doing it and not feel so discouraged. And when you have that one mastered, then you add on another layer. So don't feel discouraged if you don't like what you see when you examine your habits and routines, but also make sure you congratulate yourself on the things that are going well, that on those healthy habits and routines that are working for you. It's too easy for us to focus on the negative and forget the good stuff that we're doing. Thanks for joining me today. In the next episode, we're going to take a look at what a gentle business is not. We've been focusing on how to build a gentle business, but I think there are some myths out there about what a gentle business is, and we're going to take a look at those next week. Did you learn something in today's episode? Did anything grab your attention? If so, could I ask a quick favor? Would you take about 30 seconds and leave a rating and review for this podcast? I know this is something you hear in a lot of podcasts, but it really and truly is a simple and easy way to support this podcast and help get the episodes in front of other women who are ready to learn how to do business differently and gently.